snacks. What it do, snackers and snackers? It's your boy Gage. I'm here, virtual Comic Con.
VCC.
Yeah, and we are practicing social distancing, doing this as closely as possible as we can. Like normal, trying to bring you all some dope artists that we would normally find as we make our way through the halls and such at an actual con. Now this is what an actual con is like. It's virtual. Today, bringing you Mr. Rodney Roberts.
Woo!
What is going on, man? How are you?
What's up, guys? I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
Listen, man, everybody's holding it together. We're glad everybody is healthy and safe. And you know what? I'm actually glad that something like this has made us think to use an opportunity like this to talk to people distance this way.
Yep.
So Rodney, man, tell us a little bit about yourself. You also go as the Art NeRRd, correct?
Yep, that's Art NeRRd with 2 R's in the word nerd. I'm like you guys, I'm a big nerd, and I just also happen to be an artist, so I'm like, how can I blend the two together and sort of create a brand for myself? And the most obvious name was Art NeRRd, and then obviously that was taken, so how can I make that stand out? I'm like, wait a second, my initials are RR, so I threw out the logo.
Double R.
There you have it.
That's it. That double R is not for Rough Riders, y'all. That is not what that is. So now, look, usually when I ask this question to people, when I ask them, well, how long have you been working as an artist, whatever, as a professional artist, from a professional standpoint, how long have you been working as an artist?
Oh, it's crazy, man. I'm also, my day job, I'm a graphic designer. So I've been doing that since I got out of college, and over 20 years now. Yeah. But as far as drawing goes, I've been drawing all my life. I fell out of it when I got to college. I stopped drawing and started focusing more on graphic design because I thought that was where I was going to be able to make my money and feed my family, which has been the case up to this point. And it was honestly just like 2 or 3 years ago that I got back into drawing heavily, as much as I am now. And so the short answer is I've been drawing all my life, but about 3 or 4 years professionally.
What made you get back into it? Like, what was the thing that turned that switch for you a couple years ago?
Honestly, I've told this story many times on several different outlets, but our mutual friend Kevin Bednarz, I hooked up with him and Comic Logic, and I just sort of got inspired by his love of art and comics and how he was lifting up other artists in the community. And I just saw him, you know what? This is something I've always done all my life. I miss it. You know, what better time than to get back into it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, 3 years ago, I just picked up pen and paper, pencil and paper, and just started going at it.
And so once you decided to jump back in it, what's happened since then? Like what have you seen change since you started to go that route again?
Well, first of all, I mean, in addition to like actually improving, the improvement I've noticed in my art and my style, I've met so many people. I mean, you guys, but like just other creatives, whether it be cosplayers, artists, just makers. I've met so many people, like not only here in the States, but like across the pond over in the UK.
Oh,
wow.
So I mean, I work on you guys know this, but I do sketch cards for the tops and upper deck.
Yeah.
So, you know, there are a lot of artists in England that I like talk to on a daily basis that do the same thing. You know, we share tips and tricks of the trade, and you know, we gripe about certain things, or you know, we talk about we like this about sketch card art, this is what we hate about sketch card art, and then stuff outside of sketch cards, you know, we'll sort of share with one another and get input, like, hey, would you do this way, or do you know a better way? Or it's just a lot of wealth out there that we share, and it's just been a good time, man.
Did you not have that same kind of camaraderie in the graphic design world?
Not really. maybe among the people you worked with, but I didn't actively go out and seek other graphic artists. And like the artist community, specifically comic art, it feels like more of a community where people are willing to share knowledge. Whereas I feel like graphic design is more competitive. It's a very competitive field. I mean, you've got to be. I mean, any field is competitive, but
sure.
I feel like you've got to be really, really the best of the best to sort of get into graphic design and stay in graphic design. Whereas what I'm doing now, if you go back 3 years ago, you'll see the improvement I've made, and I hope to continue to improve.
Yeah. So, how did the deal for trade cards come about?
This was actually before I started drawing again. I went to a few shows and I met some people that were already doing it. And so, I looked at what they were doing. I'm like, I didn't even know trading cards or sketch cards were a thing.
Yeah.
Until like 3 years ago. And so, you guys know Jim O'Reilly?
Yeah.
At all? So I talked to him at a show and I saw that he was doing them. Hey, how does one get into sketch cards? Like, how'd you get into that? And so he told me, I could probably tell the story now, but he was like, I'll give you a name, contact this person, send them like 10 to 12 pieces of your best work. Just don't tell them I told you.
Right.
So he gave me a contact at Topps, and I sent 10 pieces of what I thought was like my best work at the time. And I didn't expect to hear anything back, if at all. And I got an email the next week, or it was like a few days later, from the art director at the time saying, "Hey, we like your work. I have a few projects I want to put you on," and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Do you have like a favorite set? Do you have like?
As much as I've done mostly Star Wars, I'm actually waiting for a new set to come in actually here in the next few days that they're sending me. But as much as I love Star Wars, like I love comics and superheroes even more. Comics, that's my jam. I mean, so my favorite sets are the Upper Deck sets I've worked on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, the last one I did was I think it was like Marvel Flair, something like that, and that was probably my favorite set so far, or at least my best work. So that just happens to be my most recent, so that's why it's the best. If I go back and look,
I was gonna ask, is it your favorite because you feel like it's your best work? Is that why it's your favorite?
Yeah. I mean, I'll go back and look at some of my older stuff. Like stuff pops up on eBay that collectors have found. Yeah. And I almost cringe when I see it because I'm like, that's terrible. I did that in the very beginning. Yeah. It sucked. So.
Yeah, but I mean, as an artist, right? Like in any art form, like the idea of continuing to work on your craft, right? And to continue to add new skills and improve upon what you have already done, is something that never really goes away, right? So do you look, like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, are you expecting that your favorite stuff right now, you'll be looking at it on eBay going, "Oh man, that's garbage. I hate it." It's a never-ending battle, right?
I hope that's the case. You want to improve that much to where you look back at the old stuff and say, "Hey, that's trash." I'm glad I'm where I am now, and I still want to continue to get better. So, but another thing is, as much as I do these sketch cards, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into. I don't want to be known as the sketch card artist, or that's all he does is sketch cards. Now, I do have to admit, like I was working on one project. I'm gonna call with you guys. It's a nice medium to where I can sit down, I can knock one out in like 30 minutes and be done and move on to the next. Whereas I do something bigger, I may be spending hours, days to a week on it. Yeah. Or I may sit it down and may not look at it again until like a month later. Yeah. The sketch cards I just crank out. So. Okay.
Do you have something that you're working on? Are you planning something else? What's coming up? What's the move?
Right now I'm working on 2 sets. In addition to, I have a top set coming in, a Star Wars set. Okay. Like I said, any day now. And then I'm working on, there's this initiative that was started by artists for artists. It's called Artists United. So if you can go probably check out Facebook group. But a bunch of us got together and we came up with a sketch card set. So what will happen is a sketch card set, a new one will come out like every 2 to 3 months with a different theme. So right now, the set that I have is the Totally Radical 80s. So
Okay,
I'm gonna draw like a bunch of like 80s cartoons because we're about the same age, aren't we, guys? Like we all.
Yeah.
They're probably closer to you than I am.
Most of us.
Yeah, Jake's is a baby. We don't. We try not to give him too hard of a time about it, but he's a baby.
All right.
Not too hard of a time.
Not, I said try, sir.
The word was in there.
So this set, it's like it's not a Tops or Upper Deck or Cryptozoic or anything like that, but it's something that we got together and decided we're going to do. And what it does is it gives us the opportunity to, one, choose what we want to draw, and two, charge what we want to charge for the cards.
Okay.
And so I've got 10 cards available, and people are able to. I've already commissioned 3 I need to work on, but I'm just drawing 80s properties, 80s cartoons, the general fare, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Transformers, stuff like that. Stuff I grew up with.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite from the era yourself? If you were picking for yourself, what would you draw?
G.I. Joe. Like,
yeah?
G.I. Joe was, and Transformers were 1A and 1B for me. But G.I. Joe had a slight edge. I love G.I. Joe so much. Like, the cartoon, the comics, toys.
Yeah.
So, like, you would have expected me to go into the military. But
really?
That didn't happen. Once I found out, they didn't wear like full face masks, big guys gear and stuff like that. I was like, nah, it's not for me.
I'm good. Yeah.
No ninjas in the army.
Yeah, I dig it. No ninjas in the army. I dig it. No Snake Eyes. No Storm Shadow. Can't do it. So listen, as a full-on nerd, right? You also have a podcast. So let's talk about the podcast a little bit. What's happening with the podcast?
That's crazy. I mean, that's something I never thought I would do. I'm not a huge fan. I'm pretty much an extrovert. I'm good at talking to people and making friends in a social setting, but I don't like public speaking at all. And so, like, being on a podcast, that's sort of like putting yourself out there.
Sure.
And in a sense, that's public speaking on a larger scale. But I co-host that with George Hanna, formerly of the George and Tony Entertainment Show. He had a podcast before. And Kristen Gallhopper, who is now she's married, a co-owner of Comic.
Yeah.
So George had the George and Tony Entertainment Show, and that went away a couple of years ago, maybe more than that. And he asked me, he's like, hey, if I were to start up a podcast again, is that something you'd be interested in being a part of? And I said yes, because I didn't think he was going to do it. So
okay. He didn't believe you tried to call his bluff.
I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, just ask me, whatever you need, I'll be there.
Okay.
He comes up like last year. He was like, yeah, I'm ready to get started. You ready? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes, I'm gonna have to be.
Yeah, we recorded and released our 51st episode this week.
Nice. Which is awesome.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thank you. We talked.
That is almost a full year's worth of episodes week to week.
Yeah, crazy, man. Once I saw that 50, I was like, I didn't expect us to make it that far, but that's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah. Now the podcast is Meanwhile the podcast. What's it? What would you say is your what do your topics span?
Well, we try to, as far as pop culture goes, we try to talk everything and anything. I think I bring more comics to the table than anybody. I think George tries to rein me in a little bit because he doesn't want it to be a comic-centric show. But
sure,
that's what I know, man. I love eat and breathe comics.
Yeah.
So we talk comics, movies, TV. And he really stresses the slice of life aspect of the show. We try to get like daily anecdotes and where the stuff that's going on with my kids, my job, my family. or their family life. We try to like get some of that daily real life stuff in there as well, just to break it.
That stuff that humanizes it, right? For the listener.
Exactly. George says that our trademark is we like to go, well, we don't like to, we just do it anyway. We go off the rails a lot. So we can start talking about one thing and the next minute it derails, and we may come back, but we may not. So that's our niche right now.
It's about having a conversation, right? And people just kind of getting caught up in the moment of that. And I think that's as the kind of people that we are, liking the stuff that we like, it's just a normal thing for us. You know what I mean? Like one thing just leads to another, as comics tend to do. So I think that makes sense. Listen, man, I don't want to hold you too long, but I do definitely want to, thank you for doing this with us, for us, taking the time out of your schedule with things being the way they are and homeschooling and kids and family and all of that. That's definitely a big deal. So thank you for doing that.
I appreciate it.
But I also want to make sure that I give you the opportunity to just say right now, for everybody who's watching, listening, how do they get a hold of you? Do you do commissions? Where do they go to see your artwork? What are your handles, your Twitters, your Instagrams, all of that jazz? Let everybody know how they do that.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for this opportunity. I mean, like I said, it's been long since I've talked to you guys, so this is a good time. I mean, what better time to do it than now? I mean, we've got nothing but time. Yeah. So thanks again for that. But again, my name is Rodney Roberts, aka the Art NeRRd. That's 2 R's in the word nerd. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but the best place to see my work is on Instagram, and that's at the Art NeRRd with 2 R's in the word nerd. And on Facebook, it's just Art NeRRd. And I also have, in addition to my art, I do have a spread shop where I sell gear and merch that sort of features my brand and some selected pieces of my art. So you can check that out at shop.spreadshirt/Art NeRRd, and you can go check all that stuff out and hopefully you see something you like. Awesome. And also check out Meanwhile the podcast.
I was just getting ready to say, how do they find the podcast? Are you on everything? Where do we go to get that?
We're pretty much everything. I don't know what we're not on, so I mean, if whatever you use, we should be there. And if not,
That's it, man. Once again, thank you so much. Everybody who's watching, you know what to do. Go follow, like, subscribe, download the podcast, hit the likes, leave comments. That stuff always helps with those kinds of things, for people to grow and so forth. Make sure you go and you support Rodney's work. Look for those cards. Buy a dope shirt. You know what I mean? He's got like things to drink out of with his name on them and stuff like that. Like, you gotta, not everybody has that, man. You gotta just there it is right there.
That was actually a gift for my girls for my birthday. So
that's what's up.
That's one of a kind.
That's one of a kind. You can't have that one.
Can't get that one.
Get your own. However, you can go find some other dope stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Greatly appreciate it. We are out. Toodles and loos. What it do, snackers and snack guests? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.